Thanks for downloading another segment from the Best of the Classic Metal Show. The Classic Metal Show is heard live on Saturdays from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern, exclusively at www.theclassicmetalshow.com. And now here's another piece of Classic Metal Show history on the Best of the Classic Metal Show.
The Classic Metal Show.
That's Lita Ford right here on the Classic Metal Show with a Lita Ford classic with Gotta Let Go. And after 14 years of doing the Classic Metal Show, it is my pleasure for the first time to welcome the Queen of Metal, Lita Ford, to the Classic Metal Show. Welcome to the Classic Metal Show there, Lita.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's good to be back.
Well, Lita, I got to tell you, you've created kind of a buzz out there with your return to the active live music scene. You've been gone for 14, almost 15 years, and now you're back playing live shows and promoting a new CD, a forthcoming release, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Wicked Wonderland is the name of the album. Due out October 6th. Produced and directed by Jim Gillette, Lita Ford, and Greg Hampton. Awesome album, very heavy, very sexy. The songs are absolutely slamming. I'm so excited for everybody to hear the album. It's a really special album. The artwork is insane. There's really a lot to offer on this album.
Sure.
It's like one of those I Spy things, the more you look at it, the more you see.
Right.
Like, well, I didn't see that last time I looked at it. It's kind of like one of those.
Well, I was looking at the artwork of this new CD, and it is very elaborate and very cool. And, with the way the music business has been and everybody trying to do things on the cheap, this is no cheap cover art.
No, absolutely not. And that's another thing, too. People are really skimping on the artwork and skimping any way they can on the product. And we didn't. We didn't skimp on nothing. We really wanted to give the audience, something that they could really sink their teeth into. I mean, even down to our tour shirts. Our tour shirts are awesome. So if you come to one of the shows, check out the tour shirts too.
Excellent.
I'm not trying to sell them. I'm just saying they're awesome.
Sure. Well, Lita, I want to go back a little bit and kind of move forward. You decided to kind of take a break from the music scene about 14 years ago. At what point, what was going through your mind at that point to say, you know what, I'm kind of done with this for a while, or at the time, I don't know what you were thinking. That's what I'm asking. What were you thinking at the time when you decided, hey, I'm going to hang it up for a while? What was the circumstances that caused you to kind of disappear?
Well, there's quite a few things that caused me to disappear. One, I guess you could say I sort of got bored. I was trying different things and singing with different people. And my husband and I, Jim, we did an album together. And then after Jim and I got married, I got pregnant. And when I was pregnant, I thought, man, I don't want to raise my kids in Los Angeles. I just felt like I wanted to raise them in an extremely safe environment. And there are parts of LA that are safe, and there's parts that aren't. And where I lived wasn't exactly the safest place on the planet. So we packed up after 9/11 hit, and by that time I'd had 2 boys, and we moved to the Caribbean. We raised our boys in the Caribbean. Well, they're not fully raised. Well, one of them's only 8 years old. But we moved to the Caribbean and taught our kids how to fish and snorkel and drive boats and, just kind of not your norm. They are homeschooled because we travel a lot, and we just wanted to keep them as close to us as possible. So, I don't know. That pretty much caused me to bail for a while.
Sure.
And then the music industry changed so much. I really felt like grunge took over, and I just felt like it was time to take some time off. It was perfect timing.
Right.
Let grunge do its thing and get out of the way for a while.
So when grunge hit, what was your thoughts on that style of music? Were you just like, what is this? Or, hey, that's kind of cool? Or, oh, I'm kind of out of style here? Or what was your thoughts then?
Well, at first I liked the grunge, and then it changed even more after the grunge. The grunge thing I really liked. I thought it was cool. Alice in Chains and those kind of bands. But then it started changing even more, where there really wasn't, it didn't seem to me like there was much to offer. Everybody looked like they worked at the bank, boring and just sort of drab. I don't know. Everybody looked the same, and I don't know. And then they started bad-mouthing people from the 80s, and that really made me mad. So I just thought, I just thought that my husband's talking to me at the same time here. I just thought it would be a good time to bow out.
Sure, I understand that.
But now things are different. Now the 80s are cool. People from the 80s are cool, and we've paved the way for a lot of up-and-coming artists. So that's exciting, A lot of young artists have been inspired by people from the 80s, and that's awesome. That's what we live for.
Right, I agree with you. Now that time has passed and you've broken back onto the scene, back in your the peak of your career, the norm for female hard rock or metal singers, obviously yourself, Doro Pesh. One of the other bands that was pretty MTV savvy was obviously Vixen and, all that. It was more hard melodic singing and rock. But now here, fast forward into today's market, you've got female lead singers that are more demonic almost. You got Maria from In This Moment, and you got Veronica from Benedictum, and Kate French from Vainglory. They do this really almost guy-like singing, this really harsh, demonic singing. What's your thoughts on that?
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. The guys sing like the girls sing like the guys, and a lot of them you can't even tell which one's a girl, which one's a guy. At least in Greece, we just came back from Greece, and MTV in Greece was full of them, full of those bands. Very different. I like it.
Yeah.
It's inspirational.
Is that something that you would even attempt to try?
Me? Sure.
You get up on the mic.
Why not? Well, no, I wouldn't sing like that. But, I mean, the way they're dressed and the things they do is pretty cool.
Sure. But obviously you've carved your own niche and your own style, and you basically for the female representative in hard rock, you are kind of an icon. I mean, you're a very recognizable icon in hard rock and metal. So you kind of,
it's good to be the queen.
Yeah. So you kind of cut your own path, so to speak, and you can come back 14 years later and still be relevant today, and especially with the fact that you have recorded a new CD, and that's one thing I want to ask you about. With the music changed the way it has, do you feel that it's worth cutting a new record these days because of all the downloading and all that kind of stuff? What was your thoughts at that? Do you do it just for the love of it? Are you afraid you're going to get ripped off? What are you thinking?
Oh boy. Well, I think we have a lot more to offer than just downloading a CD. And we have all this wonderful artwork along with our CD. You gotta have. There's just no comparison. You gotta have it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like having two different things, in your hand. When you download something, you don't have the musical quality. I don't know. I'm not afraid of it, no, because when you see the new album, you'll know why.
Right.
When you hear the new album, you'll know why.
Well, who do you see? I know you would like everyone to buy the CD, no matter how old or young you are, but What do you see your demographic being in today's age? Do you think the young folk who, have been brought up in the computer age will actually want to have this physical CD in their hands, or do you think this is more marketable to the people, say, in their mid 30s and on?
Well, I'm hoping that they will want to have it in their hand, yeah. And I think it's we have a lot of fans that are out there that are young and screaming for the new album. We have a lot of young fans out there, and bringing my kids with me too, that helps. They're going to do their own album pretty soon, so we do have a lot of young fans, which is nice.
Well,
good to see. A lot of women fans.
Sure. Well, of course, you are kind of a role model in that respect. So I'm looking at this CD, and I noticed there's quite a few tracks on there, which your average CD, at least through the late 80s into the 90s, maybe 10, maybe 11 songs. Aside from the remixes that you have on this disc, there's 17 tracks on here.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big CD for today's day and age.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you download it, you just don't get the whole shabeel. You just don't get it all. You might get one song here or one song there, but that's what I mean when I say you can't just download this stuff. There's just too much to it.
Mm-hmm. So basically, you not only are you marketing the new music, but you're marketing the fact that you're going to get a quality item if you buy the disc, the physical disc.
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent. Now, what are your plans as far as touring with this new disc? Are you planning on working the hell out of it and playing a lot of shows, or are you going to be kind of picking and choosing various festivals, or are you doing a club tour? You got anything you can tell us about that? I know it's kind of early, but
yeah. Well, we're working on some stuff.
Uh-huh.
We just finished doing a bunch of festivals. We are going to play Cleveland. What's the Cleveland show? September 5th. That's going to be awesome.
Cool.
I love Ohio. So we're going to be playing some shows that we have booked now, and we're working on some stuff up and coming. We did just finish playing a whole row of festivals, 20 festivals we played.
Sure.
So we're out there playing. We're going to keep playing. We're going to work with some radio people and work with some television and just keep things going. We're probably going to do a remake on Kiss Me Deadly and Close My Eyes.
Cool.
That'll be fun.
Well, let me ask you, being that the fact that you have been gone away and record labels aren't what they used to be as far as, putting a lot of money behind their artists and whatnot, are you thinking kind of a grassroots type effort here? Say if you do choose to do, say, like a club tour or something, would you be doing maybe some after-show meet and greets and selling the CD and signing it and things like that?
Oh, yeah.
Or sure?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm all for it.
Excellent, because I know there's some artists that had some pretty big success in the 80s and who obviously waned in the 90s, and they're back doing their thing, but it's almost as if shilling their new CD if they have one, or doing a meet and greet or a signing is almost like beneath them. It's just like we're rock stars, we're not doing this,
I don't go there. That's wrong. I don't go there.
Sure.
I mean, that's what was so cool about the 80s, is that we're back now, and we did set the path for a lot of rock bands, and we should be out there, signing autographs and helping the people now that are trying to get their feet going, get their feet wet in the rock and roll industry. We should be out there helping them.
Right.
We helped them from the beginning.
I agree. So what are your, now I'm not looking for a bash fest here, but what are your thoughts on someone like a Bret Michaels or some of these other contemporaries of yours going out and doing these reality shows and almost being foolish about it? What's your thoughts on that? Does it make you feel embarrassed about it? I mean, obviously these guys or gals are capitalizing and making some kind of money off of doing this kind of stuff, but to me personally as a fan, I'm rather embarrassed about that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean, and I know a lot of people are too. A lot of people are mad. mad about that. But I think they're doing it because they might be getting some good money. They may be laughing their way all the way to the bank.
Sure.
So I really don't know. To tell you the truth, I don't even watch those reality shows. But I think if they're a decent show and if they can capture the artist in a true light, I think then it's worth watching.
Right.
And you add a bunch of stupid stuff to it, and then it becomes ridiculous.
Right. Well, do you feel that's a reflection on you as an artist from that era?
Me personally, I hope not. No, I was never like that.
Right.
Believe me, I am a Bret Michaels fan, and we toured with Poison. We did a lot of great shows with Poison, but it's just his thing. I guess that really is what they did and what they do, that band and Bret Michaels. So I guess if that's how he wants to portray himself, then more power to him.
Sure. So what's your thoughts on being lumped in with this group that people refer to as hair bands? Personally, I dislike the term. I think it's stupid, but is that something that you think to yourself, I was part of the hair band group?
Well, I try not to let myself be a part of that because, first of all, I am a woman, and there's not a lot of women out there right now, or back then there wasn't a lot of women back then that were doing what I was doing, and I try to keep myself separate from that, and lead the path for more women and more rockers.
Sure.
So I don't know. I think it's a bit degrading, but I don't know. I stick up for them just like a lot of us do.
Sure.
We got a lot of fans, so I think people can call us what we like, but I don't know. I don't put myself in that category.
Sure.
I don't put myself there at all.
Right. Well, you got the new CD coming out, Wicked Wonderland. Let's talk a little bit about that. What about this CD? We talked about the artwork and the fact that there's a lot of songs on there. Anything specific that you want to tell the fans about this new CD that really stands out for you, or is a proud achievement for you?
We've got a song on the album called Betrayal, which is being used in an Xbox 360 game. It's coming out mid-November. The game is called Brutal Legend. The song is called Betrayal, and it has the voice of Jack Black, who I absolutely love. I love comedy, and the voice of various heavy metal lead singers. So it's an awesome game, and if you go online, you can look up the trailers for Brutal Legend. It's killer. Very excited about that.
Sure. Well, speaking of video games, it seems like the trend now for a lot of classic rock or even melodic hard rock or even metal bands now is to get their music featured on Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
And that seems to be selling quite a few units for artists that necessarily their catalog isn't necessarily selling well these days. But now that it's been re-energized by, injecting it into a video game format, all the kids are into it now. So what's your thoughts on that?
Well, it's an honor to be a part of it because it is the thing these days. A lot of people don't have much of a choice as far as things they can do. It's affordable. You can stay at home and have a good time with your friends. My kids, on the other hand, do a whole lot of outdoorsy stuff, and at the same time, on the weekends, they'll sit there and they'll play Xbox and the Xbox 360 games. So we kind of go both ways, I think anything that's taken too much or too far is wrong. But a little bit of this, a little bit of that, it's good. I think the games are insane.
Sure.
The graphics are beautiful.
Right. Well, as an accomplished musician yourself, wouldn't you rather see these kids putting more time and effort in actually playing a real guitar rather than sitting in front of a TV thinking that they can play guitar because they can coordinate their fingers on red, blue, green, and yellow?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, hopefully their parents will teach them the difference between a real guitar and red, blue, and green. And I know that mine do. My older son, James, sits around and plays whatever guitar he can pick up, spur of the moment, and he'll plug it in and just sit there and jam, and then, he'll turn around and he'll play Xbox at the same time.
Sure.
But he knows the difference. Hopefully Mom and Dad will teach the kids, and hopefully the kids will teach themselves at that point.
Right.
But the games are fun. I think they're pretty cool, just so long as, they know the difference.
Right.
That's not really how you play guitar. And the kids today are so freaking smart. They just seem to pick stuff up so much quicker than I know we did in our days.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if you have kids, but damn, they're smart. I ask my kids for help all the time. I'm like, God, how do you work this stinking iPhone, James? And he'll come over and plug things in and get things going for me.
Right. Well, the upside of the whole video game craze with Guitar Hero and whatnot, and featuring the catalogs of Metallica and Aerosmith and various other bands, it seems to be turning on the younger generation to good music.
Yeah.
That's
true. That's true. That's a good way to look at it.
Because they don't get it on the radio, that's for sure.
Well, we do. For us, we do. We play a lot of the classics.
Mm-hmm.
I know my husband listens to a lot of Judas Priest and Metallica. I'll pick up a couple of the Who CDs or old Aerosmith stuff, and when we teach our kids, and our kids love it. Like, Mom, play that Aerosmith song or play that Metallica song again.
Mm-hmm.
And they're really into it. But, it's up to the parents. The parents got to teach their kids what they want their kids to know.
Sure.
Otherwise the kids aren't going to know about the old classic rock and roll.
Right. Well, aside from, the older classics or veteran bands, have you personally been listening to anybody on newer at all, or are you kind of out of that scene, or anybody stands out for you in the newer genre music that you take a liking to?
The newer genre, we pretty much listen to the old classics more than anything, which we love.
Sure.
But all the 80s stuff, we got it all racked up here. We're huge fans of all the 80s stuff and the 90s stuff. But the newer stuff, I think we got a couple of Toby Keith CDs. We got a couple of Jesse McCartney CDs laying around, and they don't get played that much, but every once in a while we'll throw it in the CD player in the truck. And my younger boy Rocco likes to listen to that once in a while.
Right.
But we're stuck in the classics.
Sure, nothing wrong with that. That's why we're
kids, where I came from. I want them to know where I came from, and
right.
And what they're missing, and where the bands today came from.
Right. Well, that's why we've been doing the classic metal show for 14 years now, because we like to feature that and keep it out in the forefront. So, well, Lita, you got the new CD coming out October 6th here in the States, and I guess it's coming out a little bit earlier over in Europe, a couple of days. So, what is your thoughts on a dual release date? Does it concern you that this CD is going to be released 3 or 4 days earlier than the States?
No, you look at the time difference. It doesn't really matter.
No.
No, it doesn't concern me.
Cool.
I don't think it matters. You guys are going to, the U.S. is my home, so. We usually give the U.S. a special treatment anyway.
Sure. Well, Lita, where can people find out about Lita Ford? I know you have a MySpace, myspace.com/Lita Ford. What's your website? You got a website out there?
MySpace, You can see my family. You can see any shows that we just played. There's lots of live shots on MySpace and Facebook. The latest, I mean, we have pictures printed while we're on stage. Pictures are going up and being printed at the same time. So you'll get the latest stuff on MySpace or Facebook.
Right. Excellent. All right. Well, the new CD from Lita, which is due out later this fall, Wicked Wonderland, a lot of tracks, great artwork, doing it old school.
Yeah.
All right, Lita.
Yeah, but we got a lot of the recent stuff. It's not all old school. There's a lot of new stuff on there. There's a lot of stuff for our younger audience as well.
Sure. All right, Lita. Well, is there anything else you want to let the fans know that I haven't touched on here?
Just can't wait to see everybody.
Cool. All right, well, check out Lita. She's going to be out on the road, and she is supporting her new release, which comes out October 6th. Go pick it up when it is available. And I believe you, Lita. It's going to be worth having in your hands.
It's awesome, and you'll get to hear Jim, too. Jim's all over it.
Excellent. All right, Lita, well, before I let you go, I need to ask you the traditional classic metal show question. We've been asking everybody this for the last 5 or 6 years, and we got a whole array of answers. How has Lemmy from Motorhead influenced your career?
Oh, God. Well, I don't know if he's influenced my career. I think he's just more of a friend than anything. You know, he's a good songwriter. He co-wrote some stuff with Ozzy and co-wrote some stuff with me, and I think he's a very talented musician. But I think more than anything, he's just a good friend.
Excellent. All right, Lita, once again, I appreciate you taking some time to talk to us here on the Classic Metal Show. Go pick up the latest release when it comes out, Wicked Wonderland, The Return of Lita Ford. And as a tradition here, Lita, we always let our artists pick a closing song from the new CD and tell us a story about it.
Well, let's see. A new song off the new album. You got any ideas, Jim? You're going to play a new song. He wants to play it now. Which one do you think? I'm asking Jim. He's standing here right now. I'm going to let Jim pick it. Oh, patriotic for the United States of America. Let's play Patriotic SOB. Say that 5 times real fast.
All right. Well, here it is. This is brand new Lita Ford, Patriotic SOB. Thanks for checking out the best of the Classic Metal Show. You can tune into the Classic Metal Show live every Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern, exclusively at www.theclassicmetalshow.com.
The Classic Metal Show.